those individuals who are not quote unquote smart, what their interests are going to be totally different from the interests that smart kids going to be interested in by and large. Now, there are some commonalities that all 17-year-old boys are going to be interested in. Girls, to some degree, either sports or music, cars, right. Music. There are going to be some things that are just there as a given. But then there are going to be other things like the time that he's going to take to prepare to study for that history exam versus the time that this other kid who's not a nerd or who's not the smart kid is going to dedicate to that history exam. Not saying he's a thug or anything like that. It's just a difference because the interests are going to be different. See, the kid who's smart has been taught that education is important. It is expected of you to do well. The kid who doesn't reach those goals most likely has not been taught that this is expected of you and you're going to attain these goals. Most likely. I'm not going to say every individual, but most likely something like that is going on. This kid who is not that intelligent, who is not putting forth that effort, is going to be more influenced by his surroundings. You know, how can I get that pair of Nikes that everybody at school got, or whatever, the new debates or whatever. You know, how can I get that? Or how can I get that girl that I really like and hear her phone number because baby got thing going on. You know, that's where his focus is at. Now, how does he get that focus? That's a whole nother story. But there is a difference between how he's going to view the smart kid and how the smart kid is going to be viewed by people who look like the guy who's not interested. They're going to treat him differently because they are not relating to the same things with the same amount of enthusiasm. Some of it, in part, is due to the jealousy of this kid is actually trying and he does good. While I, on the other hand, I'm trying. I was one of those kids. I would try. You know, I would put forth that effort and I would do better than some of my black counterparts and some of them better than some of my white counterparts. But there was still a group of kids who did better than me, white and black. You know, so I was like, dang. And the difference with me was that I was more interested in how do I get into the upper echelon of the students in the class versus just hanging out with the status quo. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna get by, I'm gonna make it. And I never, and I'll be the first one to say this, I've never had a 4-point GPA in my life. And if I went to school again, I wouldn't have one now. You know? But there is a difference in how those who don't want that 4.0, those who wish they could get the 4.0, and those who actually get the 4.0 view each other. It's the same thing in our society. Like, if I work at Walmart, you work at AT&T, and another individual works for a Fortune 500 company. There is going to be a difference. Whether we know each other individually or not is not necessarily necessary. Because of our job description, which we identify ourselves a lot here in the U.S. by our job description, there is going to be a difference in how we view one another. Okay, the guy, me working at Walmart, I'm looking at the guy at the Fortune 500, like, nigga, you got it made. What you gonna complain about? It ain't nothing for you to be mad about, dude. You working at your particular endeavor is gonna be like, man, I don't see how in the world you can work at Walmart, man. That just doesn't make any sense to me. You know you can do better than that. And the guy at the Fortune 500 company may look at you and say, man, for what you put up with and for what I put up with, I'd change places with you any day. You see what I'm saying?
Because stress reasons.
Stress reasons, the expectation level, everything. You know, and not to mention the stuff that comes along with being a quote-unquote black professional. You know, I gotta get the house, gotta get the car, gotta go out to dinner, gotta go to this church, We are so hung up on that. And I mean, our perspective of ourselves, y'all, I mean, God knows, man. I look back when we didn't have nothing. There was a picture that I saw on the internet one day. And it was of a time, I would put the picture early 20s probably, because there was a car in the picture. And it was a black family. And the black men had their shirts on, and their pants on, and their jackets on. The black women had their dresses on. There was a picture of a young black boy. He had his hat on, his shirt, his tie, his pants, and he had no shoes on. Now, why do I mention that picture? Because the self-image and the perspective that young man had for himself and the people that were around him was greater than anything money could ever buy. Because he stood there and whatever it was he had with dignity for himself. And we will sit in a $500,000 house with a $150,000 car and not have dignity for our ourselves. We will stand in a project hallway and not have dignity for ourselves. That, by and large, is greater than anything that any media group, any group of conspirators, anything could project on my society. That by itself is greater than anything any outside agent could do to us. We have to change our perspectives of ourselves. I beg of each of us to go back and look through the trouble and the drama that we had to come through. Not the great people, not the Martin Luther Kings, not the people who sat on the buses. I'm talking about your grandma.
The average Joe.
I'm talking about your great Uncle Lou. I'm talking about them people that we can touch and we can feel, that are still with us. I beg of our people to go back, sit down, spend 10 minutes, and let's talk about what they went through. And I can guarantee you, if your attitude towards yourself does not change, just hearing what your own family had to go through, then we a lost cause.
Hold up. I'm sorry for messing up your soliloquy, bro.
No, this is soliloquy, man.
Hold up. I'm about to stand up and clap for you again. I'm laughing about it.
Man, you crazy. You crazy.
This is your show today, guys. Go ahead. Nah, man. It's yours, dog. It's yours. It's yours, bro. Go ahead.
It's just that it's sincere. It touches me and it matters to me.
Well, I can tell you have a lot of feeling about it. Yeah. It's something that you've given a lot of thought to. You've given a lot of consideration to. It's something that's on your mind all the time.
Every day.
Because you live it.
Every day.
And you've seen it.
Exactly.
And you from Tupelo, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're from, and you've seen it. And you've seen your heart and soul that your people have, the potential that your people have. So I know it's in your heart. And that's why I'm kind of in the background like, yo, speak, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I may not be able to portray it out there like you're doing right now. So I'm like, hey, man, speak. Do your thing.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going to put this on you. I mean, and what I was just alluding to and what you just mentioned, it goes back. This isn't something new for black people in America. It's not. This stuff has been going on for centuries, and it was coined. The phrase, whatever I'm about to mention, was coined by W.E.B. Du Bois, and that is the double consciousness. The double consciousness, and as you mentioned, I mean, like I said earlier about the black professionals, we have to live a particular lifestyle in the public, with our white counterparts, with our black counterparts. Then we have to go and live a particular lifestyle with our black constituents. Then we have the lifestyle we have to live with our black friends. Then we got the lifestyle we got to live with our black family, because we done passed double a long time ago. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not just us as black professionals.
You speak 5 languages, right?
Yeah, thank you.
For the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah, speak 5 languages.
It is required of us. It's required of us. We have to be accepted by so many different groups.
Whereas that white professional can be himself all the time, regardless of what situation that he's in.
Exactly.
Just want to say that I hope that everyone enjoyed the show today. And if you take away one point, in my opinion, if you're going to take away one point from the show that we put on for you today, and something that Charles stated so eloquently, and I got to say, I almost wanted to just stand up and clap while he was talking about it. And the one thing is taking back our dignity. And I think that's something in our community, that's something that's sorely missing right now. And if there's one thing that you take away from this episode, is that one fact: taking back our dignity and putting dignity back into our communities.
Ladies and gentlemen, we started today by saying that we want to talk about America's perspective of the black male. And I don't know whether we necessarily spoke about that or not, but I do know our perspective in this country has been dictated by and large, Caucasian people. That image has been portrayed throughout every color of person throughout this diaspora of the world. So that means whether we go to China, whether we go to Europe, whether we go to South America, hell, whether we go to Antarctica, we are preceded by the images that have been pre-released. We are subject to those images and those opinions by those individuals who have watched what has been released. And as a black American male, I can honestly tell you that by and large, the images of us have been negative. The images of us have been for entertainment. The images for us have been for sport. The images of us have been for profit. Now, in 2008, you have two brothers sitting here telling you that the most important image is the image that you could have for yourself first and for your people second. I say to all of those who are watching us that we have to change our perspective. And I leave you with this. Black people are proud people, and I want to be proud again. We thank you and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Peace out.